For the longest time, I'd like to say that Four Seasons, the chain, is a fancy Microsoft product because Bill Gates owns it. So, humor, funny. But even better is that the Four Seasons Maui, which we're reviewing right now, the property for the Four Seasons Maui is owned by Michael Dell. So now I can confidently say that this is the first Microsoft Dell joint venture that I've stayed at. And I don't know, I just thought that was pretty cool and interesting. I don't know if you find it funny or interesting at all. Maybe you don't, but I don't really care. I'm going to leave it in this video anyway. Now, to very concisely talk about this property, or just as my general, very concise consensus, it's okay. It's mid. I don't really want to say that because it is a nice hotel. It's a nice resort. And actually, it was the first tropical resort to hit Four Seasons' portfolio in, I believe, sometime in the 90s. But it's just underwhelming, especially for today. It's not very well renovated. It's sort of dated because, well, being built in the 90s, it's bound to be dated unless they go really hard on the renovations, which they didn't really do that. It's still nice. Like, if we're looking at this lobby right now, the lobby is incredibly well designed. It's a nice product of its time, but it's not worth it. It's also just an underwhelming hotel in general. If we're really comparing, let's say, the Four Seasons Oahu at Ko Olina, which I stayed at during COVID. Unfortunately, I don't have footage of it. I don't have a review of it because I didn't start this yet. It's just so much nicer in every way, both in the hard product, which is super nice and modern and sleek, and the soft product. The service was incredible. But to be fair, it was COVID, so there were less people to deal with, so maybe we got special treatment just due to the lesser quantity of guests staying at the property. So that could have been a contributing factor. But even then, it's just, I see so much better value in that property being newer and more lively and brighter versus this one, which is a little, it feels tired. I think that's the best description I give. I would say that the lobby area is probably the best area that they have of this entire hotel. So if you're thinking right now, hey, what is this guy talking about? This place looks incredible. That's why. The lobby actually is very nicely appointed, and I will give them full credit for that. But to first talk about the restaurant, because we're walking over there right now anyway, to the left side of the lobby is a restaurant called Spago, which is a Wolfgang Puck restaurant. And interestingly enough, they actually have a spot in Vegas too. They have it in the Bellagio, which is how I know about them. But apparently they also have one here, so we tried it. I'd say it's a very good restaurant taste-wise, but it's also not worth it because there are far better restaurants at this resort, both in terms of quality and pricing. So both in terms of taste and pricing, that's two in one. That checks all the boxes. So there's just other restaurants at the resort that are just so much better. And for that reason, I wouldn't recommend Spago. Here's some of the food options at Spago. Some pictures I took. This last dish, this mahi mahi, was not good. The flavor wasn't there. It was just a weird dish overall. I wouldn't recommend the mahi mahi, but the other dishes were actually really good. You can try Spago if you want to. I just wouldn't really recommend it given the price point and given what you're getting out of it, because all the other restaurants are, again, lower pricing. I don't know how to say that. They're cheaper. And also the food just tastes better overall. So there's really no motivation to go to Spago again. I believe the resort itself reports having, I think, 5 or 6 restaurants. It might be 5. But some of those I personally wouldn't qualify. I think they count the lobby lounge. They might count the bar over here that I'm showing right now, though I don't really recall. And they also counted a sushi bar. And I guess, to be fair, it is a sushi bar, so that's just a singular bar. But being a singular bar, I wouldn't really count that as a true restaurant either, because it's a single bar. And I will show that in a second, along with the lobby fountain. This is a fountain in the lobby. It's super cool. But if you look ahead right now, you can see some seats and a little bar-looking thing. That's the sushi bar. So again, I really just would not count it as a proper restaurant. In my opinion, there's 3 true core proper restaurants at the resort. That would be the Spago that I showed just a second ago. There's a Duo downstairs. The Duo downstairs. I don't know why I said there's a Duo, but there is Duo. The restaurant's called Duo. It's downstairs. And there's also an Italian restaurant, a poolside restaurant called, I believe, Ferraro's. It's been a while since I edited this review because it's been months now and I'm doing the voiceover separately, so I kind of forgot. I think it was Ferraro's. It's next to the pool, to the right side of the pool. And we're actually on the lower level right now, so I just went down the elevator, and I filmed this after going down the elevator. Right ahead is Duo, and I will show that restaurant in a second. And I might as well take this footage to just talk about the resort layout a little bit more, being that this is Wailea. A lot of the hotels, including the Four Seasons, they're built into this weird hill orientation. So when you actually enter the hotel from the lobby, it's probably going to be more of an upper level, and levels just overall, they're going to be a bit confusing because it's on a hillside. You know, what can you do about it? But just a heads up, I wanted to make you guys aware of that first, just so this hotel was not easy to film for this exact reason. The orientation was, it's hard to capture it in a somewhat organized way, but this was the best that I was able to do it with it. I am walking towards what I think is a new gym facility that they're working on. And the reason I say is new because, one, I saw some packaging on the other, you can't really see it right now, but on the other side over there, all the way at the end of the hallway, there's some packaging going on. And two, I tried tapping it with my wristband key, and the hotel does fortunately do wristband keys, which are so much better than traditional card keys in my opinion. And of course it's not working, which is a strong indicator that this area is currently locked out and it's a new facility, which is probably needed to, because I will go over the fitness facilities, and also I just show that picture to show my wristband. Now that I think about it, that was a strange editing choice. I don't know why I showed that after I already showed it from tapping the keycard thing. This is a breakfast, Duo is the main breakfast venue, so these are the breakfast offerings. Just show some pictures, the buffet stuff. Yeah, keep going. Oh, and this was a granola dish, very delicious, by the way. This was dinner. That's some tuna, I think. I forgot what that was. And then there's some more stuff in a second. Yeah, I have some more stuff. All very delicious, by the way. And again, this is why I would recommend Duo over Spago. Just way more, one, for the value, and two, the food it tastes so much better. Very good restaurant. And this is what it looks like at night. I did a little bit of filming just to really capture the vibe of the restaurant. And it's also a poolside restaurant, and we will explore that pool in just a second, but this is what you can sort of see. It's not as poolside as Ferraro's, and also being that this is an indoor-outdoor restaurant, as with most of the restaurants here, you're going to have to contend with bugs, which is why I showed that footage back there. This is what the resort more so looks like during the daytime. It's unfortunate because the lighting was just not cooperating during my stay at all, so the footage here is not going to look too great, but I did want to capture it to showcase what it looks like. This is the mini fountain that you'd see in a lot of those iconic pictures for this resort that they really love to pitch out, because I know Four Seasons, I'm pretty sure they treat this as one of their flagship resorts, or maybe it's because they had the partnership with the White Lotus and they just really want to pitch it out. And since we're already on the footage of me showing the pools, I might as well take this moment to mention that all the pools other than the adults only pool are fully 24/7, which is so nice to have. It's the only other hotel I know that properly did this was the St. Regis in San Francisco. So it's nice to finally have a tropical resort property do this as well, because for instance, I basically every night at 2 or 3 a.m. I went into the hot tubs just to relax a bit, and there was no one around to bother me. There were some regular cleaning staff power washing next to me, but that's fine because I rather would have them clean regularly. That's a nice thing to have, so I have nothing against that, but it's just nice to be able to get into the pool and the hot tubs alone at night at 3 a.m. It's just a really relaxing experience and a nice option to have. And this is what the pool area looks like at night. It's just, there's a bunch of pathways leading to the pool. It's a little bit confusing, but you can get around. And this is what these are what the cabanas look like at night. It was a little bit dark, so I took a photo to really enhance to take advantage of the slower shutter speed to get more light in so you guys could see that. And I guess as we're walking around a little bit, I might as well take this opportunity to talk about just the value of the hotel overall. And by the way, this footage right here, the top level right there, that's Spago, and the bottom level, that's Duo. So they're kind of stacked together, and they are connected with the main lobby in the building area. In terms of value, it's just again, going back to the hotel being a little bit outdated, a little bit gloomy. It's just a tired property, and I have to say it's not good value for the price point. And I did briefly mention the White Lotus a little bit back. I think the promotion from the show really drove up the pricing for this hotel. So I recall before the show it wasn't like this, but it's so much more expensive now. Oh, and this is a waterfall pool. There are 2 main public pools for, well, with the exception of the adults only pool. These are the 2 main pools. There's the waterfall pool that I'm showing right now and the other fountain pool that I showed a little bit back. This waterfall pool is directly adjacent to Duo. So if you're seated at the tip of Duo, which I will show in a little second right here, I'm panning over to it. See, this is the tip of Duo. If you're seated there, you have a perfect direct view of this waterfall pool, which I suppose is nice. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that this is probably a family-oriented resort. So unlike, I don't know, the Four Seasons Saiyan, or if we're staying in Hawaii, unlike the Four Seasons in Oahu at Ko Olina, it's really designed to incorporate families or encourage families to come. This is the poolside restaurant, the Italian. I believe it's Ferraro's. I hope that's the right name. This is some food from that restaurant as it flashes by really quickly. I need to flash by the images super quickly so I can reserve the rest of the video space for showing the actual hotel. But it is a super nice poolside restaurant. And again, Ferraro's and Duo would be the ones that I truly recommend at this resort. I wouldn't recommend Spago again just because it's not really good value and the taste isn't there. And the other restaurants like the lobby lounge, that's what they call it, they're okay, but I haven't tried them and they're not really proper restaurants either, so I wouldn't really push for that. And I'm doing a 360 pan of the entire property from the grand staircase right now, just to give it hopefully a better overview of this resort layout as a whole. And this right here is the iconic shot that you see all over the internet, where they encompass both that tiny little fountain in the front near the staircase and the bigger fountain in the pool itself. And yeah, we're just continuing with this pan, but again, just with how Wailea, the hillside, the orientation is not easy to capture on video. And right now I'm actually in the hallway because I am about to show the room tour, and I'll stop talking when that happens. And another thing to mention, probably it's not really that important but of a detail, is that all the windows in the hallways are open, and I would have to assume that leads to very annoying maintenance and potential corrosion in the hallways with the wallpaper and whatnot. You can see that things are a little bit worn down, so I would have to guess that the humidity and heat from those open windows is what causes that. So here's the room tour. So this is the entry corridor, or whatever you want to call it. There's a nice little light overhead, and of course there's this button that lets you choose your privacy or your makeup room button for the light outside for them to know. We go over here, there's some closet space and a lot of stuff in here. I don't think there's a dedicated light in here that shows anything, but it's a... Oh, there is a light. Okay, you just have to open that door, but it's a pretty standard closet space. Decently large. If I can get it on frame, I'm going to close all this and hopefully that'll make this a little bit more obvious, because my iPhone camera is not going to... The wide lens on the iPhone camera isn't great. So this is what it looks like. Decently nice, large space. And then to the right here is just a pretty standard coffee, tea area. That's the mini fridge. I'm not going to open it because there's no point. It's just a pretty standard fridge. And this is what the main bedroom area looks like. It's a little bit dim. It's not really coming off on camera because I guess the camera exposes it well enough. But in person, since there's no overhead lighting whatsoever, it looks just a little bit dimmer than you'd want it to be. And also this is the welcome screen that they always do, the automatic thing that they put on. They didn't put our last name there, and that's just shameful, man. You know how in Hilton's and Marriott's, the automatic system will always go, hey, welcome Mr. or Mrs. There's nothing special about it. It's just a system doing it, but shame on them for not doing it for us. I'm disgusted. I'm appalled. This is the balcony. We don't actually have a view at all. It's more just, it's supposed to be a mountain view. It's not really coming off too well on camera because the white balance here is a little bit off. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. That's more so what it looks like in person. We don't really have a view at all. It's just more of, it's supposed to be a bit of a mountain view, but if you look down, it's more just so a garage, and the mountain is kind of covered by some trees, so can't really see that much either. Some of these rooms, just the way this hotel is oriented, some rooms like this one just don't have the best view, but it's an okay balcony. There's just nothing special about it. I don't think most people would be using this with this type of view, but it's there. And yeah, this lovely couch. This is a sofa bed, so it does extend for if you have 3 or 4 people staying in the room. Everything else is pretty nice. It's a decently sized room too. I think it's about 600 square feet. I don't think there's any major things other than just the lighting is a little bit odd. And they didn't put our last name. I am disgusted. But if we come over here, over to the right, there's this very lovely bathroom. So I'm crouched in the corner. I'm not really crouched. I'm just kind of squeezed in the corner here because I'm trying to get it all in frame because it's a very nicely sized bathroom, which you can tell because I can't fit it in frame. I will say this light over here, I don't know why this light and the light above the shower, I have no idea how to get those on, and they might not even be connected anymore because this over here is the only switch in this entire room. So this is a little editor's note. I did actually figure out how to turn it on. There's a little switch just right to the outside of the door right there, and I just showed it. Oh, well, there's also this. This is really cool. Watch this, watch this. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? And then you can change the station, so jazz, easy listening, whatever genre that is. Oh, I like that. And there's your traditional Hawaiian. That's Hawaiian? Oh, it sort of is. There's also, and you just, the volume is very adjustable. It's too loud now. I'm gonna turn that back down to 0. This is my coolest part of the room for sure. Let me just see if I can show a little bit more of the bottom here. There's not much down here. There's a pair of slippers. They do leave 2 pairs as per how hotels usually do it. And then there's the toilet room here to the right, which is just a pretty standard toilet room. There's not much to say here. There's a phone, also very standard, light above. And on this end, there's also 2 robes. They're very unique. They're kind of thin, which I don't think I'm that big of a fan of, but they seem cool. They look very, very special. They match the theme of the rest of the hotel because all the staff, they have these blue themed uniforms too. So I guess this is to match that. It's just, I think it's a little bit thin, but otherwise pretty nice. And then of course these doors from the bathroom, they lead you right out here, back out to the main room. If you're a little bit confused as to what I just did there, I was stepping on a loose tile just to showcase that the property is a little bit tired and worn down. And again, it's a nice property. It's hard to say because it's a good property. It's a good resort. It's just not good enough for the price point. And I think that's what I'm sort of trying to get at here is I don't want to sound ungrateful or super nitpicky, but given the price point, the upkeep is just not good enough or not up to, I would have to assume most people's, actually that's not even true because the reviews are raving about this place. So I guess it is actually up to most people's standards. It's not up to mine. And that's just based on experience from other properties, including, nearby related properties like the Four Seasons in Oahu, which I feel hard product and soft product wise, it's just so much nicer and more well maintained. To be fair, the Oahu property is just more modern, newer in general, because it was previously a JW Marriott, a pretty recently built one, I think in the early 2000s, and then they eventually renovated some stuff and moved it over to a Four Seasons. But it's so much nicer as a hard product in general, and the service, of course, is still incredibly nice. The service here is also good. It's just not exceptional, and again, not really fitting the price point. So, for instance, if this was a true experience, I went over to actually, I should probably talk about the hallways too. And again, I mentioned this earlier before doing the room tour. It just seems a little bit tired, super yellow in a sense. I do like that they stagger the rooms. We didn't really get this room. We got unlucky with that basically non-existent view. But the staggered configuration basically allows for most people to be able to see directly into the ocean from their balconies instead of looking into the opposite side of the building. And I'm about to walk over to the spa and fitness center here too, which is super cooked. I think what they're doing right now is a bit of a temporary solution, because I did mention and show back there that it looks like they're working on a new fitness center, but the current one right now is just so not it, and you'll be able to see that in this footage in a little bit. It's just this super temporary looking outdoor facility. I'm not sure why though. I saw from some older images that I think there used to be a fitness. This is the sauna, by the way, but there used to be a fitness center that seemed like it was on a balcony of sorts, and it looked really nice. So I'm not sure what exactly happened to that. Because did they just make a balcony disappear? I'm not sure. But you can see here tennis courts on the left side and this very makeshift fitness center with this massive tent on the right side. I mean, I wouldn't exercise in here. If I wanted to go on a run, I'd probably just run around Wailea because it's a beautiful, nice place. So this tent configuration is not it, and I do wish them the best of luck with their new facility downstairs. So I'm not really sure why they set up the tent configuration. I'm not sure where the old balcony, nice looking balcony setup went. It's all just speculation right now. This is a courtyard that they have above the lobby. And actually, I don't really have much to comment on this. It was just nice footage. It's a nice area. The courtyard is actually very nice. There's not many people up here. There's no actual pools up here. There is this water feature that just passed us. But it's a nice little garden courtyard area. They also gave us some complimentary caps, which was a nice touch. So basically, in terms of loyalty, they will honor anything other than complimentary room upgrades, which is pretty funny. I mean, I'd take a room upgrade over basically anything, but you know, they gave us caps. I'll take it. It's just not as generous as something you'd probably get at a Marriott or a Hilton or a Hyatt sub-chain of sorts. Anyhow, I think it's probably a good time to just recap my experience overall. It's a nice hotel. It's just not nice enough. So I think nice is probably the best way to describe it. Yeah, it's a nice property. It probably is the best thing you're gonna get at Wailea, but I feel that Wailea as a whole is just sort of cooked. Everything's super outdated. The competition isn't exactly doing too well either. Maybe other than the Andes, though I can't really speak on the Andes since, again, of course, I didn't stay there. I didn't even go there for lunch or anything, so I wouldn't know. But for the price point, it's just not worth it. There's so many better options like the Four Seasons Oahu or potentially other Hawaii options, other tropical options, and overall, it just cannot compete in today's environment. As much as the TripAdvisor people rave about this place, I don't see it. So perhaps the best way to summarize this is nice resort, nothing exceptional, nothing to write home about. Also super overpriced.